A scary story. The Reaper, Elias Blackwood MANIAC. Serial killer. In the endless cornfields of rural Nebraska, where the wind never stops whispering through the stalks and harvest moons hang low and blood red, the small town of Harvest Hollow lived in terror of a man known only as the Reaper. His real name was Elias Blackwood, 43 years old, a third-generation farmer who worked the same 200 acres his grandfather had claimed in the Dust Bowl days. Tall, broad-shouldered, quiet. The kind of man who waved from his tractor without smiling. Neighbors said he kept to himself after his wife died in childbirth 15 years earlier, taking their infant son with her. No one blamed him for the grief. No one suspected the rage. They started calling him the Reaper after the first body appeared in late September 2025. 20-year-old seasonal farmhand named Dakota Wells. She had come from Omaha for the harvest season, picking corn and baling hay for extra cash before college. Her body was found at dawn in the middle of Blackwood's south field, arms spread wide, legs together, scythe placed across her chest like a sacrament. Her throat had been cut with a single, sweeping arc. The wound was so clean it looked surgical, but the signature was the grain. Stalks had been carefully braided into her hair, and corn husks arranged around her body in the shape of a perfect harvest circle. The sheriff called it a ritual killing. The FBI called it a signature. Second victim came 2 weeks later. 25-year-old agronomy student named Riley Navarro, interning at the local co-op. He was found in a neighboring field. Same pose, same scythe, same throat cut. This time the killer had used the victim's own pocket knife to carve shallow furrows across his forearms, mimicking the rows of corn. Inside each cut, a single kernel pressed into the flesh. The town began to lock doors that had never needed locking. Harvest festivals were canceled. Workers refused night shifts. Elias kept harvesting. Dawn to dusk, his old red combine moved through the fields like a slow predator. Third 19-year-old runaway named Sage Monroe. She had been hitchhiking through the Midwest, picking up day labor. Found at dusk in a fallow field on the edge of Blackwood's property. Same crucifixion pose in the dirt. Scythe across the chest. Throat slashed. But this time the body had been partially buried. Only the upper torso exposed, as if growing from the soil. Corn seedlings had been planted in neat rows across her abdomen. Panic turned to whispers. "It's someone local," people said. "Someone who knows the land." The FBI sent Special Agent Mara Voss. No relation to the main case. Just coincidence of surname. She arrived during the first hard frost, breath fogging in the cold. Voss interviewed every farmer within 20 miles. When she reached Elias Blackwood's porch, he offered black coffee in silence. She asked about the victims. "Saw the girl once," he said of Dakota. "Helped load a truck. Polite. Anything unusual?" He stared at the horizon. Wind was wrong that day. Blew east, instead of west. Voss pressed. He said nothing more. She noticed his barn. Doors always closed. Combine parked inside. No livestock. No dogs barking. She requested surveillance. They watched from a distance with drones. At night, Elias walked the fields alone, not checking crops, just walking. Slow, deliberate. Sometimes stopping to kneel, touch the soil, whisper. One night the drone caught something. Elias entering the barn at 2 a.m., emerging 30 minutes later carrying something long wrapped in canvas. Next morning, another body. 22-year-old photographer named Jordan Hale, documenting rural decay for a magazine spread. Found in the exact center of Blackwood's North 40, posed identically, scythe gleaming in morning light. This time the killer had used twine to bind the wrists and ankles to stakes driven into the earth, turning the body into a living scarecrow. Crows had already begun to peck. The drone footage sealed it. SWAT moved at dawn. They found Elias in the barn. Inside, walls lined with scythes of every age. Hand-forged, rusted, modern. A workbench with sharpening stones still wet. And in the rafters drying husks, braided hair, small cloth bundles containing blood-soaked clothing. But the centerpiece, a life-sized effigy made entirely of corn stalks, twine and human bones. The skull wore Dakota Wells's braided hair. The rib cage held Riley Navarro's pocket knife. Sage Monroe's seedlings had been replanted in the dirt floor around it. Elias didn't run. He stood calmly as they cuffed him. "You reap what you sow," he said quietly. In custody he confessed to 7 killings total, 4 discovered, 3 buried deep in fallow fields where no one would look until spring planting. He claimed the land demanded balance. His wife and son had been taken by the earth. The young drifters, rootless, transient, were payment. Their blood would make next year's crop grow tall. Psychologists diagnosed delusional disorder with religious agrarian themes. The jury didn't care. Life without parole. But in Harvest Hollow, the harvests continue. And on moonless nights in late September, farmers swear they see a tall figure moving between the rows, scythe over one shoulder, walking slow. Not Elias, He's locked away, but the wind still blows wrong sometimes, and the corn still whispers names. Check out my long videos with scary stories. Visit my channel and watch. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Recommend it to your friends. Check out my videos, friends.